Does grinding hard at your desk job all day cause your low back to suffer? Does bending over to pet your furry friends send your back into a frenzy? Does spell casting at your Wiccan shrine put a hex on your back? Introducing Yoga for Lower Back Pain. All of this and more can be yours for the low cost of liking and subscribing.
We'll get started in a seated position on the mat, so find your way there. Once you settle in, start to take a few circles with your torso. So we're just going to start to gently open up through the low back, letting go of any of that tension you've been holding on to. Invite your breath into this movement. So exhales, you'll travel back. Inhales, you'll round forward, let your shoulders soften. And then reverse. You can even take your chin, your neck into this movement. Have fun with it. Once you've evened out your sides there, go ahead and return all the way back to a neutral position. Again, allowing your shoulders to fall down your back, getting that really strong, supportive posture. And we're going to take it into a boat pose. So just find your way with the soles of your feet on the mat out in front of you. You can just bring your palms down by your side. Start to engage through your core. On an inhale, lift your left foot up into the sky, and then your right, find a little moment of balance. Option to reach your arms out to the side, and then continue to engage your core, tuck your tailbone. So we're taking it into boat so we can start to really strengthen out through the low back. Reach your arms out in front of you, palms face up towards the sky. Maybe you're starting to shake, to wobble. Just know that that's a sign of your low back getting a little bit stronger every moment. On an exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to the earth. Keep reaching up through the crown of your head. Make sure you have enough room behind you to lay down, and then start to slowly lower down towards the earth. Again, tuning into that strength of your core to help out with your low back. Your elbows can come all the way down to the earth, and then rolling one vertebrae at a time as you lower down. Start to bring your right knee in towards your chest. Extend your left leg out long in front of you. We're going to take a nice soft supine twist. So you can reach your right leg or your right knee over your body. Keep both of your shoulders near the earth, and then option to extend your right arm out to the side. So just inviting in this little twist to your spine. Take a few breaths. Letting every breath nourish your body. On your next inhale, go ahead and take it back to center, and then we'll switch the legs. So right leg out long, left knee into your chest. Once you're ready, cross your knee over your body, open your arm wide. Maybe even take a look over towards your left hand. So really pressing down in your left shoulder and your left knee towards the earth, and that's just going to help you to really extend this twist out. On an inhale, take it all the way back to center. We'll take it into a happy baby. So your knees will reach in towards your chest. And then bring your knees wide. Your heels will lift towards the sky. So starting to really make sure your low back is fully flat on the earth. Make sure you feel supported. And then your hands can either reach to the outsides or insides of your feet. They can wrap around your toes. And depending on how you feel in your body today, in this moment, you can hang out here in stillness, or you can play around with any movement of your feet. So some of this movement of the feet too, extending out your legs, can help to get some of the stretch into your hamstrings and the back of your legs. And sometimes any tightness in our hamstrings can actually affect the low back too. So our body is really connected, different body parts here. So Yeah, stretching out through the hamstrings, helping out with the low back. Start to bring your knees in towards your chest, and then you can either rock forward one or a couple of times, or you can gently lift up. So rocking forward, if you do that and that felt really good, feel free to take a few rocks here, just massaging out through your low back. And then we'll all lift up into a little seated position. Once you arrive, just bring your legs out to either side. We'll meet in a tabletop. Just be really mindful with your movement. Once you arrive, knees under hips, palms under shoulders, we'll take it into a little spinal undulation with our cat-cow. So inhale, belly drops, heart can open forward. Keep pressing into your palms so your shoulders and your ears get a little space. Exhale, round through your back, bring your chin tightly in towards your chest. And then just take a few of these movements at your own pace. Really tuning into what's going on in your low back here in this moment. Go ahead and wrap up your cat-cows, just evening out this movement. And then we'll all meet in a tabletop position. From here, tuck your toes, bring your hips towards your heels. You might already start to feel this little stretch in your low back. You're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to experiment with a rabbit pose, you can bring the top of your head all the way down towards the earth. Try and scoot it in towards your knees as much as you can. Once you arrive there, reach your hands back towards your heels, press firmly there, and then start to lift your hips up to the sky. That should invite in a really supportive stretch, not only to your low back, but to your upper back and your shoulders as well. Every breath in, you can create a little bit more space. Just notice what that breath does. Every breath out, your body starts to soften a bit more. On your next inhale, go ahead and reach your palms back under your shoulders, lift your torso. You can walk your arms out further in front of you, and then just start to lower your pelvis all the way down towards the earth, finding another little spinal undulation as you lower. Bring your palms under your shoulders, untuck your toes, and then start to peel your chest up to the sky. So we're finding a little counter stretch, getting our low back some different attention in different planes. On an exhale, go ahead and lower your forehead to kiss the earth. Press your torso all the way up. Take it back into a nice tabletop position. From here, tuck your toes, lift your hips, press your heels back. We're going to come into a high plank. Again, we're starting to strengthen out through the core and the low back in order to prevent any low back pain in the future. Start to roll onto the outside of your left foot, the inside of your right, and then reach your right fingertips up to the sky for a side plank. Now you're welcome to stay here, or you can always bring your left knee down toward the mat for a more supportive side plank. So yogi's choice. Again, just building strength to add that extra support to the core. On an exhale, bring your palms back down to both meet the earth. You're welcome to hang out in your high plank here, lifted or lowered of your knees. And then we'll take it to the other side. So roll onto the right side of your body. Left fingertips will gracefully dance up towards the sky. And keep pressing your hips even further up. And then on an exhale, you can lower your left hand all the way down. Start to press your tailbone up towards the sky. Take it into a downward facing dog. Now really generously bend your knees. Get your biceps to wrap around your ears. You can even extend out through your down dog if you feel you need a little space between your feet and your hands. And then start to walk your feet all the way forwards. Take it into your forward fold. So feet hip width distance or wider. Let your chin fall towards your chest. You're welcome to stay here with your hands reaching towards the earth, or you have two options to increase the stretch in your low back. Either bringing hands to opposite elbow, or you can reach your hands around the backs of your legs and kind of pull your hands and your feet or your legs in towards one another, and that should start to open your low back even more. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. Again, notice how every exhale can soften your body just a bit more. Start to release your hands if they're not already lowered to the earth. Generously bend through your knees, slide your palms up your shins, and then bring your palms to heart center. We're going to come into a chair, Utkatasana. So hips are sinking low. Take a look forwards. And so notice here, if your low back is arched and you're bringing that arch here, that can start to bring a little excess pressure to your low back. Think about tucking your tailbone under, and that way you have that strong posture to support your body. And take a look down towards the earth. 2 more breaths. On an inhale, go ahead and press into your heels, lift your torso, reach your arms to the sky. You can clasp your hands together, pointer finger, reached up, and then find a gentle back bend. So pressing your pelvis forward, heart space opening. Inhale, lift all the way back up. Exhale, lower down to the mat, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, number 7 shape with your body. Exhale, palms can plant. Keep your right foot on the mat and then travel your left foot back in space. Bring your left knee down towards the earth. Find a steady foundation on an inhale. Lift your torso, reach your arms over your head. Once more, option to invite in that slight back bend as you keep bending into your right knee. Exhale, hands melt down towards your heart. And then start to bring your hands down to the earth once more, wrapping around your right foot. Now start to travel your right foot a little bit forward, so it's just scooching forwards a bit. That way, as we start to straighten out through the right leg, your hips can reach back towards your heel just a little bit. And coming into this sort of modified half splits. This is going to start to invite in a stretch into your hamstring. Maybe play around here with the height of your hips in relation to the earth. Feel free to play with pointing your toes forward, reaching them towards your body. You can even stay here with a lowered torso, or if you want to engage your core, lift your hands up and bring in a stretch to different sensations of your leg. You are welcome to. On an inhale, go ahead and walk your hands forward, press firmly into your right foot, open your heart, relax your shoulders. On an exhale, travel your right knee back to meet your left, take it into your tabletop, and then we'll take it to the other side. Inhale, left leg extends forward, press into that heel. So front knee should be about over your front ankle. On an inhale, torso lifts, arms reach nice and high, biceps. Start to try and even kiss the ears. Exhale, hands come down toward your heart space. Take some soft exhales. And then on your next exhale, reach your hands down to the mat in front of you. Again, we'll start to straighten out through the left leg. So if you want to shimmy your left foot forwards, you're welcome to. And then start to find that your hips are, again, coming towards your heels. You can keep a bend in your knee. It certainly doesn't have to go all the way straight, but we're just, again, inviting in that stretch to the hamstrings, and any of the fascia back there as well. So you might be wondering, why are we doing a stretch for the hamstrings when this is a low back practice? But like I mentioned earlier, so many different body parts of ours are connected to one another. So sometimes even tight muscles in the hamstrings or fascia in the hamstring area can affect any pain in our low back. Just take a couple more breaths here to yourself. All right, when you're ready, start to bend through your your left knee here, and then you can travel your left knee back to meet your right. Come into that tabletop. Tuck your toes once more, hips drop towards your heels, slight round here, and then walk your hands closer towards your body. Option to hang here or to reach them on top of your thighs as your upper body relaxes. The same thing here. We have a backline fascia that goes all the way down from the back side of the bottom of your foot, all the way up the back of your body, your legs, your low back, your upper back, wrapping all the way over the top of the head. So if we've got unhealthy fascia in the plantar fascia down here, then that can surprisingly affect the low back. On an inhale, let's reach arms all the way overhead. One more big stretch here through the torso. Exhale, reach your hands down towards the mat. Untuck your toes. Let the tops of your feet play on the earth, dancing them around on your mat. Start to bring your knees as wide as your mat, or a little bit wider than hips if you're not using a mat. Your toes can meet at the center. Start to bring your right palm directly under your heart space, your chest area. Inhale, left fingertips lift up to the sky. Really try to get that reach twisting from your belly button area. On an exhale, left hand can come under your right. Your shoulder and ear can either hang out here in the air if you feel like that's what's available to you, or if you have that space to drop your shoulder and ear all the way to the mat, you can find that support there. And then you have this variation, or you can walk your right hand towards the top of your mat to any corner, play around with that. Or you can wrap your right hand to your low back, coming into this half bind. All right, one more breath. And then right hand can meet back under your shoulder. Press into that palm once more. Left fingertips lift to the sky. And then exhale, left hand can come down to the mat. We'll take it to the other side. So left palm comes to center. Inhale, right fingertips stretch and lengthen. Maybe take a look up towards your palm. On an exhale, follow your right hand under your left. Again, same thing on this side. Noticing if maybe the side, if there's any differences between the side and the other. So without judgment, just kind of noticing how our body is balanced. As a reminder, you have 3 variations. Either your palm stays where it is, it crawls its way towards the top of the mat, or you can take it to your low back. So I know many of us are very used to sitting a lot all day, either at work, on the couch. So getting these different movements of the spine, taking twists, finding movement forwards and back can be really, really beneficial. And start to move around some of that stagnant energy that might be held there. Let your left palm come back under your shoulder. Inhale, right fingertips stretch up to the sky. Take a look up. And then on an exhale, right hand can come all the way down to the earth. We'll take it into child's pose, Balasana. So you have 2 options. Keeping your knees where they are, your hips can drop back and your arms can crawl forwards. Or sometimes it can feel even better for the low back to bring your knees in towards one another under your hips and take your child's pose in this way. So I just encourage you to experiment, to explore with what you're feeling in this moment. Loving breaths in and loving breaths out. On an inhale, lift your torso all the way up, come back into your tabletop, and then start to sink your hips all the way back down towards the earth. We'll come into a seated position. You can walk your way towards the top of your mat. Reach up through the crown of your head, soles of your feet are firmly planted. On an exhale, start to lower your torso all the way down towards your mat. Same thing as we did earlier, just again engaging out through that body. Bring your heels under your knees. We're going to take it into a bridge pose. So before we move there, make sure your low back is fully flat on the earth, tucking your tailbone as much as needed to get there. Reach your arms by your sides. Your palms can face down on the mat. Press firmly into your heels on an inhale. Lift your hips up towards the sky, pressing your knees in towards one another. So you're really strengthening, engaging through your legs, helping that strength build in your low back as well. You're welcome to stay here, or you can start to snuggle your shoulders under your body, even reach your palms, your fists towards one another. And using that pressure there, if you're coming into that fists under your low back, you can even press your hips a little bit up towards the sky, just again, depending on how much space you have in your low back. We've got 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, let your hips fall down towards the earth gently. You can bring your knees in towards your chest. Find this Apanasana. Your hands can wrap around your shins. You can stay there, or you can play with bringing your forehead in towards your knees. Let your head rest on the earth if it's not already there, and then just take a few gentle circles, just massaging out your low back area. And then reverse your circles. Okay, you can bring the soles of your feet all the way down to the earth. Now you have the option to hang out in an Apanasana or a happy baby like we did earlier, or if you want to explore Halasana or plow pose, and I'll give you that guidance here. So if you want to come into Halasana, you can start to rock your hips up to the sky and bring your hands to your low back. So you're just going to find a little support here. You'll press into your elbows to really make sure your lower body is supported. Make sure your gaze is always faced forward, so don't take a look to the left and to the right. Let's protect the neck here. And then you are welcome to stay here. You can extend out your legs, or you can even go so far as dropping your feet all the way behind your head, reaching towards the earth. Now, I really want you to make sure that you are being mindful of your body. So not trying to push yourself into any position that doesn't feel good just because you think you need to go there, but just really noticing what feels actually good in your body. Just making sure you're getting a supportive, gentle stretch for your back. Wherever you are, on an exhale, slowly lower your hips if you're in Halasana. If you're in Happy baby or another position, just bring the soles of your feet all the way down to the earth. Now you're welcome to move into a Shavasana, extending your legs out long in front of you, reaching your arms to the side, palms faced up. So if you have the time, I definitely encourage you to hang out here for a little bit. Even if you want to support your low back in a Shavasana, if you have a pillow or blanket or yoga bolster, you can bring it under your knees, and that can bring your low back a little bit more flat to the earth. Whenever you're ready to get going, though, you can choose a side to roll onto. Find a fetal position just for a moment. And then on an inhale, go ahead and lift your torso all the way up. Find a cross-legged or kneeling seat, whatever feels best for you. And just being mindful with the low back here as a reminder, in a cross-legged seat, if it feels better for your hips and low back to come up onto a blanket, a block, or something that can elevate your hips, that can really invite a more supportive posture into your spine. On an inhale, reach your arms out, sweep them all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands melt down towards your heart. Take it into an Anjali Mudra. You're welcome to soften your eyes closed. See if any more parts of your body, your muscles, your low back can relax. Just tune in, notice how you feel. And thank you for showing up, for moving with me, and I hope you have a beautiful day ahead of you. Much love. Namaste.